I feel like that today we are now in the maybe the early stages of what I'm calling the great AI game, where artificial intelligence as a new wave of technology is driving a whole set of new competitive dynamics, right? Both in markets as well as between nations. Right? At the same time, is triggering a lot of thinking, a lot of concern sometimes, but a lot of sense of opportunity, massive opportunity as well in the coming years and decades, from a business standpoint, from a country competitiveness standpoint, and also for individuals and firms, just from a progress standpoint. And as part of this great AI game, you're seeing that even the last few months have shown us how big the stakes are getting so quickly, right? You have large tech firms that are rushing to, introduce new LLMs, get the best talent on board, invest large amounts of capital. At the same time, at the country level, you're finding that countries are starting to develop their own AI strategies. Many countries have put out AI strategies over the last few years. Individuals and firms and corporate leaders are starting to think about how business models will get impacted. So it's really the rumblings have begun, and so your piece on the geopolitics of AI in that sense could not have been more timely. So I want to ask you your views on this global AI competition, right? What I'm calling the great AI game. How are you seeing this play out?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I would observe both your book is fantastic, and the work that you've done subsequently, including this podcast. I think you've really been pointing at these issues very presciently for a while. So, kudos to you for that. And maybe one quick digression that I think you probably would share is, while we put this idea together for the Office of Applied Innovation about 2 years ago, subsequent events have really served to ratify the rationale behind it. I mean, 2 years ago, we lived in a world where US-China competition was really important, and it was acting out in geopolitics and technology. But fast forward 2 years, we now have the rise, we have that sharpening. We have the rise of hot conflicts around the world and the emergence of generative AI, which we think is a kind of a world-changing technology. And so it's just remarkable, better lucky than smart in some ways, of forming this group at the time that we did, because these topics are now momentous and frontal for boards, for countries, for politicians, for policymakers around the world. So, just as you've experienced with your work, I'm sure you're seeing this too. It's a complicated time in the world, but it's a very fruitful time for expressing thought leadership about these topics. Now, on the topic you raised, yes, I mean, this is a technology. The rise of generative AI is one that is super consequential for nation states. And if you think about matters of economics, productivity, defense, and even culture itself, this technology is going to have profound impact, obviously on all of us as individuals, on companies, but really almost uniquely for a technology change on nation states, countries, and regions. And so that's why it's so fascinating to embark on the study of this phenomenon, be able to have access to and talk to world leaders about it, because it is a fast-breaking, fairly recent, momentous technology change that's going to influence the course of policy, politics, and competition, global competition.
And business. No, that's right. And markets. No, definitely.